Welcome to January.
At least, surprisingly temperate so far. I mean, the other day was fucking freezing. Today I was I'm wearing a hoodie. I'm like...
Oh, I wasn't even talking about the weather. Actually, yeah, it's fine. I just meant, first shitty horror movie of January.
Yeah. October's dumping ground. I think it's
the
weird,
movies that October shits out.
I think it's weird, the past couple years, I think we've seen more horror films in January than we have in October.
And it's usually always, the first weekend of the year, too. I remember that one year, Texas Chainsaw 3D was the first movie to come out that year.
Yeah, what was it last year? The first thing we saw was, Paranormal Activity.
No, that was a couple years. That was the year before. Last year it was, I believe it was Woman in Black 2. I think so.
That sounds about right, because I don't remember that doing well.
I don't think. The only reason why I even remembered that movie is because, Sarah wanted to know what bad movie she saw this year, and so I just looked at a list of everything through the year.
And Woman in Black 2 was on.
Yeah, that wasn't one she was at, but I just noticed it pretty early on in the year. So The Forest, it's a holdover of that fucking era when we were getting shit like The Grudge.
Yeah, this felt like back when there was a lot of either remakes of Japanese horror films or just hey, I've seen enough Japanese horror films, I can probably hit all the high notes.
Ghosts, check. Japanese schoolgirls, check.
That seem to have an odd knowledge of things. This girl just happens to know all about this sort of thing.
Because everybody in this movie, except Natalie Dormer, knows everything about the suicide forest.
It's just
I don't know, maybe in that area they do, but...
That's one of those things, I have to assume, maybe okay. But you know what? I know, living here in Springfield, I know dick about most Lincoln stuff. I don't know shit about any historical things that have happened here,
But if there was a legend of the ghost Lincoln Woods, we would probably know more about that.
Because we'd probably go there and do something stupid.
Yeah, make a shitty movie like The Forest.
Trick Nick into going there at night and then, running off and just leave him.
Yeah.
We would do that. We're those friends.
That reminds me, we should really go get him.
I like the idea that, it's shit, I think we left him at the camp out in October.
Well, he's dead. Might as well keep talking about the movie.
Our condolences.
Sorry, Ghost Nick. The first 5 minutes of this movie are a fucking editing nightmare. Because it's one of those, first 5 minutes that feels like it was originally the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, I get what they were trying to do, fitting in exposition without making it feel hey, here's a plot dump. But the whole, out of context, no ability to gauge where any of this is happening chronologically, just, cuts around to things. Is she's, getting to Japan, getting off the plane, going to her hotel. All that's interspersed with, her, waking up and realizing she has to go to Japan and leaving. And then the next cut back is her arguing with her boyfriend.
Yeah.
At a point, she was I saw that she was wearing a ring. So I'm assuming they were married, but it's never expressly said. It's just, hey, here's a guy she's hanging out with. But even at that, he's talking all right, well, I don't know, just get there safe or whatever and come back. It's that sounds like something maybe they've been dating for 2 weeks. I don't fucking know.
Oh, I love it when she's on the phone with the authorities around that area where her sister goes missing in the suicide forest. And the guy she's talking to on the phone is well, I don't know. Look, if she walked in there, a lot of people off themselves in there. So, she's probably dead.
She's probably just dead. And she's explaining this to her guy friend.
Yeah.
It's they called. They said it's been 2 days. She's probably dead. And his response is like, look, I mean, she's pulled shit like this before. I mean, why don't we just give it a couple days? And, I don't know. See how you're feeling after the weekend. Like,
I mean, not everyone who walks along the Golden Gate Bridge is gonna jump.
I mean, yeah, come on. It's like, yeah, I got my boss coming over for this thing tomorrow. Like, this is really bad timing.
This is mixed in with. This is so out of order because it's like she's in the cab in Japan. She then is. It's before then, and she gets the call about her sister. She's in a cab again, or she's at the hotel, cutting back to her talking to her boyfriend. It's just. It's all over the goddamn place.
Yeah, like, it's. It's like a very, very short version of, like, Memento. Like, some of the stuff's in order, but the stuff that's not in order makes the rest of it feel really off. Because, yeah, it's like the parts that are in the past are out of sequence. It's not what was the other one? Following.
Yeah.
That Nolan did. It's basically like it starts from like the beginning and the middle at the same time. So, and like here's a bit from there, here's a bit, and like it's moving at the same pace to where you reach like the middle and the end at the same time, so everything comes together. But this one's moving in order, but this one's just fucking around.
Oh, here's what it
like I said, like, she's packing her bag to leave, and then the next one is them talking about it. Then the next one is earlier that night, and then the next one is later on after they've had the conversation. Like, it makes no fucking sense.
It's the only part of the movie that's like that, and since it's at the very beginning, it feels like
that was probably all one actual scene.
Like that was, yeah, definitely, but the way that it's presented feels like this is episode 2 of a TV series, and the first 5 minutes is previously on American Horror Story, The Forest.
Yeah. It's like, she's almost dead. I have to go. Flight. But babe, landing.
Because
logo.
God forbid it's over 90 minutes, but I'm glad it's not over 90 minutes, so you know what? Alright, thanks. This movie wouldn't have been good regardless, but that's so fucking cheap and obvious.
Well, there were a lot of, like, weird bits here and there, like another odd flashback they have is she gets over there to Japan, and I guess her sister was living in some like dormitory housing that the school provided because the principal of the school also let her into her apartment. And she finds this picture of the two of them as little kids.
In which they were creepy horror movie twins.
Yeah, when they were kids in the 50s.
Yeah, moving their heads simultaneously.
It's like,
they were the kids, they were the twins from The Shining.
They're looking for fucking Danny to hang out with. You know, like, never even minding the fact that, like again, all of the scenes of them as kids, it's like fucking 1962.
Yeah!
Which I didn't understand. Like, they're dressed in, like, mod clothing. Like, she's, like, they're watching a black and white TV. Like, she's, like, looking at things on, like, the first Viewmaster ever made. It's like, where the fuck, like, everything's wood paneling and shag carpet. It's like, she's, like, my age or younger, probably.
Yeah.
It's like, my shit didn't look like that. It looked like the 80s.
Yeah.
Like, I remember a lot of, like, really crappy furniture when I was a kid. But,
I mean, wood paneling.
But, I mean, that looked like it was, like the fucking 60s.
And this scene is... It's confusing for a couple of reasons, and it's obvious where it's gonna end up in terms of this plot, because it's like the sister witnessed the parents dead, but the way that she was told that they had died was that they were killed by a drunk driver in a car accident. This is only possible if a drunk driver hit her parents in their basement.
But, well, like, I think, like, the whole... Like, I think that's, like... That came across as, like, the story that she tells is, oh, they got killed by drunk drivers, so that she doesn't have to say, like, my dad shot them both.
But then at the end, when she realizes that, she looks surprised.
But, yeah, well, and it also kind of comes across like, she keeps saying, like, oh, like, my sister was the one who saw everything. That's why I always come to her aid, because I know that she can't handle anything anymore. But he keeps like showing everything. It's like, well, if you never went down there, how the fuck do you know what everything looked like? Were you the one who saw everything and she wasn't?
Oh yeah, she has a perfect memory of everything except what the sister saw. Like, so she knows this was all in their basement. She knows that the crash sounded way more like a gun than a car crash.
But yeah, like all of this stuff just doesn't add up at fucking all. Like. But not even that, like the that one flashback where she was like looking at that photo of them as little girls. The flashback didn't even go to like one of them being little girls. It went to that one of them like a year before that. Like apparently their grandma's dead because they're boxing shit up and like well,
I forgot about that.
I'm getting ready to move to Japan.
Yeah.
But like, why does looking at a picture of them as creepy girls wearing the clothes that they wear in all the other flashbacks when they are creepy little girls, why does that trigger the flashback of, oh, remember like 6 months ago?
Again, exposition dump that I barely remembered until you just mentioned it.
Well, and the awkward thing as well is the fact that, okay, so her and her sister are twins, and they're both played by the same actress. But I don't know why. It is such a stupid thing to complain about. But she has like a very like obvious like
no,
mark.
This is not a stupid thing to complain about because I was thinking of the exact same fucking thing, and I was gonna wait for you to bring it up.
It's like I'm sorry. She has such a specific like beauty mark.
Yeah,
and her sister also has that. I'm like I don't give a shit how fucking identical of a twin you are. You don't have like a mole in the same fucking.
And they were
spot.
trying to cover it up.
Yeah, like I know it's like hers had makeup on it, but it's still like it's a noticeable like bump. Like,
she's either got the twin either has like they're not filming that part of her face.
Like she does a lot of her scenes like this way, like get my good.
Or her hair is combed down, like.
But yeah, I mean, even in everything, like the best they can manage to show that they're twins, but totally not supposed to be the same person, is one of them has blonde hair and light makeup, and the other one has like straight black hair and wears like really heavy, like going to like an underground club.
Yeah, she looks like the quirky one.
Yeah,
like she has like pictures on her blog. It's like it's beer 30 and shit like that
to show that she's the wild one. Like her profile picture is her with a beer to her mouth.
My favorite part of this movie is because, okay, Natalie Dormer is looking for her twin sister, and when she's asking people, have you seen this person, she pulls out her phone to show them a picture of her.
Like everybody she shows this picture, she was like, oh, you're so identical. It's like,
have you seen this woman?
It's like, have you seen someone? She looks a lot like this.
Have you seen me?
Have you seen me in the past week? Oh, okay.
Oh, and
well, that's even the scam she tries pulling with that guy at the bar. It's like, hey, haven't I seen you around? She's like, yes, here 4 days ago. He's like, no, I was just trying to like bar pick you up.
First of all, I love that guy. And also, when she went to that place that's got like the dead bodies that they find in the forest.
The visitor center.
The visitor center for
full of bodies.
Yeah, like if there was a visitor center at like fucking Everest, it'd be stacked like all the shit. And so like she has to go downstairs to look and see if the body is her sister's. She has to do this so it gets the jump scare in. Otherwise, you could just say, do you have a fucking body in the basement that's this?
Looks like me, but like dark hair.
Huh, man.
And yeah, the woman that she shows that picture to, like, oh, we see her, she in basement. It's like, no doubt in her mind, 100%, yep, you're the one. Goes down there, just some fucking broad.
Yeah.
Different hair color, like maybe she was white, I don't know, she was really decomposed. It's like, how did you think that was the same person? What made you believe that was the same person?
It's like that scene in Ruthless People when they thought that they had Midler's dead body, and Danny DeVito goes to identify it, and it's a black man. It's not her. Oh, sorry. We meant Jane Doe number 2. But this is all of the fucking... all of the jump scares in this movie have nothing to do with anything going on. It's either a dream sequence or it's like just some, like there's a creepy old lady who's wandering the halls for some reason, so burger at the camera. Because it's an entire movie made up of we gotta make that stupid girl that in the front row go, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. That happened.
Yeah, that girl was there at the show.
Yeah, she was there. She seemed like the only one in the audience who liked it. Everyone else...
She was really scared.
She was very scared because they go boogity boogity at the camera quite a few times.
Yeah, like, all of the scares in this are, like, shit that you would see in, like go to YouTube right now and type in, like real ghost footage or proof of haunting or something like that, and you will see every jump scare we just saw. Like one, like she's having this dream and she goes into her basement and there's like this little like pup tent set up and you can see like the two silhouettes in there of girls, and she unzips it and it's like her and her sister as little kids. She's like, what's going on? And all of a sudden just fucking like
dream.
Like, oh no, it's Ghostface.
Oh, watch the trailer. The ending is in the trailer.
Look at the box art for the apparition. That's the ending of this movie.
Yeah, and it's not the poster for this movie, but it is in the trailer. And as soon as that happened in the trailer, one of two things are the only possibilities. One, it's a dream sequence. Good guess.
Yeah.
Or two, that's the fucking ending. And it's the ending.
That's also the exact same ending to Drag Me to Hell.
Yeah, I would thought that too.
Like, they started grabbing her. I'm like, well, this looks like the apparition. And then they start pulling her to the ground. I'm like, oh, so it's just Drag Me to Hell.
It's Drag Me to Hell. The only difference is like
Justin Long was just sitting there, no!
Oh, you fucked up, Justin Long. God damn it. Wow.
I found your button. What?
Oh, that is the worst thing a boyfriend could do.
You schmuck.
The only difference is with the apparition and Drag Me to Hell, like that's like the last frame of the movie. In this, it goes on for another 30 seconds, but that's the fucking ending.
Yeah. Well, I like too the fact that like all this spooky stuff is happening, but apparently you're cool as long as you can hit like the parking lot.
Yeah, and all this spooky stuff is kind of happening so that they can like trick her into killing herself, which is really easy. She does accidentally kill herself by having a few like cuts on her wrists going crossways, in which it's not bleeding that much.
Yeah, if she was bleeding out, it happened in an awful big hurry, in one big burst. Like while she was looking the other way, it's like gallon and a half. It's like, huh? Oh. It's like, cause like when even like she looks down, she's like, what?
Yeah.
And it's just like it looks like if you like, there's about as much blood as there is ketchup in a fucking ketchup packet.
And because PG-13. And
they were really shallow, because like I've been cut worse than that, getting stuck in like a fucking thorn bush. Mm-hmm. Like I've got scars on my arms all over the place from just having a cat.
Big Lloyd has cut me way worse than that.
Like I've gone to work before, like my arm just shredded, looked like I got in a fucking fight with Freddy Krueger. It's like, oh no, a cat got scared because the door opened.
Went to the suicide forest, huh?
That's what I fucking thought one time. Like, Suki, like, spurred me, like, right across here, and it just looked like I was sitting here all night, just like, it's like, I'm thinking about it, I was just too fucking lazy. Like, turns out that hurts a lot. I don't know.
I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
Well, she makes stupid mistakes like that through this fucking movie, where she falls into a cave and sees creepy Japanese schoolgirl say, I know where your sister is, follow me, with
and then runs off
face.
And then runs off into the darkness.
Well, you know where my sister is? Okay.
Well, I felt like she was trying her hardest, and I forget that gal's name.
Natalie Dormer?
No. The
schoolgirl?
The creepy schoolgirl. I felt like, especially with like the looks she kept flashing her, like she was trying her hardest to look like that chick. She was in Kill Bill and Battle Royale.
Go from Kill Bill. Oh yeah, I can see that.
Like she was trying really hard to go for those faces. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she runs off into there. Then she like stumbles after her, like thinking like, yes, farther into this cave that I happened to fall into seems like a great plan. And then she finds her just standing stock still in the middle of the room, like, well, I don't know what could happen. It holds up her cell phone flashlight to her, and she looks like she looks like a trip to Spirit Halloween.
It made us laugh. We
It
started
was
laughing.
hilarious.
It was really funny.
She looked like one of the fucking ghoulies.
This stupid fucking ghost just played this weird prank just to like jump out at the camera and scare the one girl in the audience. I don't even know if she jumped at that point.
It had like really loud swell of music happen, and I was just fucking dying laughing.
I started cracking up too.
It looked so fucking terrible. It's like where'd that schoolgirl go? I don't know. It was Rawhead Rex over here. There's that. That happened.
This movie could be okay. Like a decent enough movie could be made with this synopsis. And you get a good enough director and a good enough cinematographer to really strike some fucking mood in these woods where there's just bodies hanging down, and you could easily make this really fucking spooky. And honestly, like, the acting in the movie is fine. For a January horror film,
Yeah.
the acting's good.
It's just like they honestly they do the best they can with what they were given. Like
I like Natalie Dormer. She deserves better than this.
They stretched that really hard. Like
The guy was good.
Yeah. I know I've probably I feel like I've seen him somewhere before.
I forget off the top of my head. Crap.
It kept throwing me though, the fact that they mentioned several times that he's Australian. I don't know, maybe he is, but he
said he worked in Australia, but he had an American accent in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, he had like vaguely like Pan-Asian features.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, he said like he works for a travel magazine in Australia, and he keeps like mentioning like, oh, back in Australia.
The important
He had like like a Midwest, like Ohio River Valley accent.
The important thing is they're both white. Because God forbid, this Japanese spooky ghost story.
Yeah, we need to have too many Asians running around.
Gotta be careful there. This could be a lot worse. They could have cast Jessica Alba and like Freddie Prinze Jr. No, these two were good. And like, there's the Eye, and I don't know what Freddie Prinze is up to nowadays.
I think he has a beard now, so who knows?
Does he? He's going dark now. He's gonna start being the killer in movies.
He's ready to get those, like, post-Friends Schwimmer roles.
Fuck yeah. I'm excited for that American Crime Story thing. Schwimmers, Robert Kardashian, fuck yeah. I'm signed up.
Yeah, I was looking at the casting for that. I'm like, it's like Courtney B. Vance as Johnny Cochran. I'm like,
yeah. I can dig it.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Travolta, Shapiro.
It's like,
all right.
That's really good casting. Like, all right.
I was glad to see Schwimmer back.
Cuba Gooding Jr. I mean, come on, like that guy's had a rough kick for a while. Like,
when did you come back? Play OJ. All right.
It's like, oh man, I need work. How about playing one of the most hated people in America? Yeah, that'll probably.
This will work. It worked for Johnny Depp's comeback playing Whitey Bulger.
True. Get him off of that Mordecai slump.
There were a couple parts in this movie that were frustrating because I was like, I can see how this could work because there's a couple scenes that I kind of liked. Like, I liked when she was looking through his phone and there was the picture of the sister. I liked that you could really get something out of these woods really fucking with her and making her not trust this guy. Because honestly, I wasn't sure whether to trust him either. And I'm like, I like this. I like that I don't know how his story's going to turn out. I don't know if it's the woods fucking with her or if he actually is a bad guy. And I liked that small part of the movie.
Yeah, I mean, that felt like something that they should have capitalized on a bit more.
Yeah. They weren't interested in it. They just wanted fucking jump scares.
Because the only reason that you even buy into the fact that he might be a bad guy is, and it's not even like that scene with like that Japanese girl, like you no trust him. It's like, why? Like, I talked to Miss Jess. She says she's sad, but you no trust him. It's like, I'm sorry, it's how she was talking in fucking pidgin English.
Look, man, fucking, one of the re-releases this year, I shit you not, one of the re-releases is, Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Oh, Miss Go Right. Hello.
My motherfucker was pissed off about Silent Night, Deadly Night, but that's fine. Whatever.
But, I feel like this Japanese girl she keeps running into in the dark in the middle of nowhere alone in the woods, tells her not to trust the guy that she's been trusting so far. And the only reason you buy into that is because, like, and he's been nothing but nice and straightforward with her this entire time. And not in, like, one of those, like, and then he's the killer type ways. Just, no, he's like a fucking nice guy.
Yeah.
The only reason you kind of believe that is because whenever she decides to, like, okay, well, I'm going to turn in for the night, and goes into the little tent, and he's going to stay outside the tent so it's not awkward, there's a lingering shot of him just laying there on the ground, just death staring the tent, just laying there on the ground.
Yeah.
That's the only reason you're like, I don't know, maybe.
And like, little things, like when he was recording her and she didn't know he was recording her, and then, like, he may have made up this brother, so there's some trust issues there that are kind of now apparent. And also, like, when she looks and sees this the picture on his phone that, like, is the sister in the tent, it's kind of an incriminating photo. You don't know if that part was the Woods fucking with her. Probably. I mean, it was. Yeah, I assume it was.
But yeah, like, since they didn't, like, do anything else with it, like, that just... Because, like, yeah, it leaves you with, like, fuck, like, that seems pretty damning, but then, like, 5 minutes later, she's totally willing to trust him again.
Yeah, well, she did fall down a very big hole. Oh, man. I got the an alarm set on here because I got to go back in the theater to see The Revenant. But no, like, yeah, I wish I get why she's put in this situation where she kind of has to maybe start trusting him a little, otherwise she's in these woods by herself. And he hands her the knife, but then later on he wants it back, and something good with a good enough writer could come out of this, like, 20 minutes of okay material in this 90-minute otherwise kind of shit fest.
Yeah, I feel like if they'd played up that a little bit more, like the paranoia angle around that, like I feel like they could have really had something, like, you know, like don't go for it being like a supernatural horror, like you know, like go for it being more of like sort of like a like psychological thriller almost, you know, like I feel like that angle would have played a lot better.
But considering the names on the ending credits, David Goyer and Lawrence Bender, haven't seen that name in a while, this movie on its posters could say, from the people who brought you The Dark Knight and Pulp Fiction. If this was 1998, they would have. Oh, well, maybe not The Dark Knight, that hadn't come out yet.
But yeah, like, there were enough people who could have saved this working on it that it baffles me how this is all it turned out to be.
Yeah, I mean, because of that, it's like, it's still bad. I've seen worse January movies. It's still bad, but it makes it frustrating because it could be something that's better than a typical January movie. If James Wan was behind this really could have been something. Yeah,
like this in it's hard to even say in more capable hands because everyone that was on this was capable.
Maybe not the screenwriters and the director. I mean, like, it had Goyer and Lawrence Bender as, like, executive producers.
But you figure at some point they would have stopped by the set, like, hey, can we see the dailies?
Depends on what kind of executive producer they are.
It's like, hey, my cousin Tim's working on this, so yeah, you can put my name on it.
I think they just wanted something to throw out there in January, because horror movies, yeah, they're kind of bad in January, but there's nothing else out, and they kind of do well. So here's this 90-minute horror film. Let's just puke it out in theaters, and maybe it'll make its $5 budget back.
But yeah, that's going to be the one saving grace of this, is like, the budget for this had to be next to nothing.
The plane tickets to go out to Japan. That's about it.
But even at that, you just go over there and you hire a Japanese crew. Done.
Well, I gotta head in. I gotta go see another Woods movie. This one I hear is good. If the only way I could possibly say, like, this is the kind of movie you throw on, it's 1 a.m, you can't sleep, fucking need something on TV, here you go. Here, just pop it up on Netflix. There's worse things you could find, but it's not good.
Yeah, I see this being one of those movies that pops up on Netflix at some point and just doesn't leave.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like that one that you flip by like 100 times.
It'll be the one where, come next year, when I send you guys lists of, like, the bad movies, it'll be like, oh, that was this year.
Huh. I did see that movie, didn't I?
There was The Forest.
Like, sit there the whole time, like, it's like, for some reason I think it was Maggie Gyllenhaal that was in there. I don't fucking know why.
Until the next until The Boy comes out in a couple weeks.
Yeah, like 2 weeks from now.
Later.